We've done a previous video about Excel, some kind of introduction to how the software works, but it was in French, right? And we still haven't provided any subtitles to that video, so I thought maybe it would be better just to do another video in English, but I'm not going to do exactly the same. I mean, you know, Cameroon is a bilingual country, so I expect English-speaking Cameroonians to be able to understand what was said in the first video, and this second will just be in English, so the French-speaking ones will have to understand what's being said here. The objective today is basically to figure out how formulas works in Excel. The environment here is a German one, so I hope it's not going to be a problem for anyone. And yeah, that being said, let's just get started. I'm gonna draw something here, what we're gonna be calculating. Nothing that complicated, and it doesn't even really matter if you know what we're calculating here or not. The basic idea here is to understand how a formula works in Excel. So we're basically gonna compute the area of a trapeze. Nothing that complicated. The formula is gonna be given in a moment. So I'm just gonna define here the width of the base. I could call it B1, why not? The width of the top length here, I could call it B2. And up, yeah, the height, we could call it H. Okay, and we're gonna use those three dimensions basically, or those three informations to compute the area of our trapeze. Just as simple as that. So what's the formula to compute that area? It's A equals 1/2 of B1 plus B2 times H. Okay, so we're gonna use this formula and put it in Excel. I'm gonna do the following. I will just copy this image here and paste it in Excel, just so we can have our eyes on it all the time. Yeah, that's it. Nothing complicated, right? So we're gonna create a cell. We're gonna call that cell V1. Okay. Then in the second one, we're gonna put B2. In the third one, we're gonna put H. And the result will be here. We can call it just A for, or we can write A here. That's not a problem, right? Now let's make a test. Let's try something. Let's just put here maybe 3, here 2, and for the H, let's put 1. Okay, what should be the result? 3 for B1 plus 2 for B2, that's 5, times the height, so times 1, 5 times 1, that's 1, divided by 2, that's 2.5. Okay, so the result should be 2.5. Now, we need to input that formula. So what we're gonna do is we just click on the cell where we want to insert the formula. We start formulas in Excel with the sign equal. Okay, then Excel is ready to get a formula. And what do we want to do? We want 1/2 0.5 times, in brackets, B1. So I'm just gonna click on the cell B1. I could also write it myself. I could see, okay, what's this position? The row is B, sorry, the the row is 3 and the column is B. And so I could put it, I could write it down myself, could type it in, plus C3, okay, the C, the letters you use for cell should be capital letters, okay, just remember that. You can close the brackets, times H, and what is H? H is G3, okay, and enter, and that's the result, okay. So we basically done. That's how you input formulas. Now let's design these tables a little bit. We haven't put in units here, for example. So maybe we might want you to input units. It might be an interesting thing to do here. So we can just move those values. But now, are we gonna have to input the numbers again manually and write the formula again? No, we don't have to do that. I imagine if you just had to run the cells here, and if you had to do it manually, this would really be a genius work. So we're just gonna select all of them with the mouse with the left click and just hold it down and move it all over the cells. We're gonna press Ctrl and X. So we're basically cutting it. You can also use the right click on those cells and then cut it. Schneiden in German. Okay, then you click where you want to move them. I'm just gonna move them one row below. Okay, I use the right click and now I need to paste it. Okay, normally when you want to paste something, there are like different options. You actually have different ways to paste a copy you've made. But yeah, for the time being, we're just gonna paste it. You don't have the different options shown here, but you generally have the possibility just to paste the numbers which are written in the cells. You have the possibility to replicate basically the formulas. You have different options normally, but you're just gonna paste it. So yeah, it moved down, and now you can see that the formula here was basically adapted. So we just move our formulas from this row to the one below, and the formulas automatically update. When you have a result from a formula, if you click on that cell, on the cell where that result is being shown, basically on the cell where the formula was inputted, you can see the formula written above. And if you want to know exactly what are the cells that are being involved in that formula, you can click on that formula here on the upper part, and you can see the cells involved are being highlighted. So B4, you see B4 here in blue, and you can just check on your screen, okay, where's the blue color, and you can see it. Okay, you have C4 here, you can check for the C4, you look at that color, and where C4, okay, so C4 is there, and here you have like a violet or purple color, whatever. You can check for it and look for it, and you see it here. Okay, you also have the possibility to just use the keyboard button F2, and you can directly get to the same situation, but your cursor is going to be here in the cell, so you can change the values here in the cell. If you want the cursor to move directly to this upper part here, you will have to change it in the settings. Good. So the reason why we move it downwards was to input the units. So let's just put them in. You can copy it and just paste it. So this is the length, this is the length. Now this is an area, so it's gonna be meter square. We could just write it like this since it's easy to write. But what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna use exponents and subscript, or if you want, upper scripts and subscripts. So we're gonna delete this sign here, which indicates that it should be the power of 2. We're gonna select these two. You can also do it with the mouse. Double click in there, so you're in the cell. Select 2. Okay. Unlike Microsoft Word, you don't have directly the possibility here to use exponents and stuff. Maybe you can add it up on those menus, but you don't normally have it there. So you have to use a right click then on the letters or the numbers you've selected. You move to cell information, but basically format the cells to change the way it's shown, the way it's presented and stuff. So you need to click on that. And here you have the possibility by effects to maybe just put a bar up. I think it's not selected anymore. Maybe it should be selected, but yeah, you have the possibility to put it in upper script, so in exponent or in subscript. And so we want to put that number 2 in exponent. So I'm just gonna put here hochgestellt in German. So put it to the in exponent and OK. And you see that the 2 move upwards. So now it's middle square. Okay. I'm gonna do basically the same thing here with 1 and 2. I'm gonna put them in subscript. I'm gonna select 1 here, right click, Zellen formatieren, schief gestellt, so subscript. So now the number 1 you see move downwards. I'm gonna delete all line we have there. So that's it. And here I'm gonna do the same thing with 2. I can delete the line already. Select 2. Move. You can also use some keyboard shortcuts there, like Shift and F. Then you could move to this part here, and here we could have just press F or move manually down to wanted menu. And here you also have some possibility to just use the keyboards really. You can just press G, for example, here, and you it's not working for whatever reason. Okay, normally you could just press G here and you would move here to yeah, you need to press Alt and G, and then you move there to subscript basically, and if you press OK. That's it. Okay. Now it's also important when you have an Excel sheet like this to make sure that you know exactly which values comes from formulas and which values need to be inputted, so that when your user knows exactly, okay, here I need to put some values in, and on those other cells I definitely don't have to touch them. You also have the possibility to basically restrain any modification on a specific cell, but come on, you don't really have to do that if you can just show another user, a random user of your Excel sheet, that he or she doesn't have to touch some values. So we can change the colors, for example. Why not put them in, or we can just change the background, put some color there, like maybe this one. So just to indicate that maybe it's a value not to be touched. Results from a formula. Maybe you can use the same color, and just a basic usage of that. And so now you know. And here we can say these values need to be inserted, and we can maybe use some greenish background, red color of the letters, and put them maybe bold. Okay, I'm gonna use the same format here. So you need to put in those values here, and this is pretty great. So if you have any calculations that you normally do on paper, you can create an Excel sheet to compute them for you. And the good part is, as soon as you change some values here, the result's gonna change. For example, if I double the height, what should happen? Well, obviously the value of the area should double too. So if we put 2 meters here by h instead of 1, we should have 5 meters squares as a result. So I put 2 there, but I haven't validate that input yet, so I'm just going to press on enter, and you see now the result is 5. Let's come back to 1 here. You also have the possibility to change how you want to present the results. So here we have 2.5, but you could also say, well, maybe we want to have 3 digits after the comma. You have the possibility to change those information, the display basically of the cells over here. So you have, we just had standard. Now we can move to numbers, basically the way the numbers are going to be presented. This is like an automatic setting where we can change it ourselves. We can come here to weitere Zahlenformate, so basically further number display or layout. And we come here to number, Zahl. Oops, sorry, that was too fast. We come here to, to number and change the amount of digits after the comma. And we could change it to 3, for example. Why not? Put in there, okay. And you're gonna have it. Now you definitely want to let people know that your comma here is not an indication for thousands. So this is not 2,500, but it's 2.5. So you really need to make sure that those misconception or misinterpretation do not happen in your Excel sheet. This is very important. An area for 2,500 meters square is not the same as an area of 2.5 meters square. So watch out with that. So I'm not gonna make a video that's too long here. I think that's pretty the basic of it, how you use formula. You have the possibility to also add some if function. In German we use then, and so those are basically conditions. You could, for example, say if the area is above 2 meters square, then we say okay, it's good, or maybe or something like that. If it's below 2 meters square, then we write maybe below 2 meters square. So you can write stuff like that. That's like an if condition. So you're also gonna input it with like a formula. Let me move those values here to the side. So equal if, okay. And let's say you want to use a new function. You have no idea how it works. So what can you do? You basically need to read what they ask you for here. They say gibt einen Wahrheitstest an, der durchgeführt werden soll. So it basically gives a values, let's say truth test, or a test on the validity or the truthfulness of a specific condition, which needs to be applied here. So you can double click on that and you have here the structure of the function. So here you need to input the condition, then the semicolon. Looks like nothing, but it's very important to respect the structure, not just the main words here, the main parts there, but also the structure there. You see you have that semicolon, and then here you have, okay, the value when the condition is respected. What does the program has to do, or what does the program has to write? And semicolon, the value if the test is not respected. What does the program has to do? We need to write both of them. Actually, you can stop here. If you just write the value when the condition is respected, the program is going to do what you said. And if you don't write anything for the situation when the value is not respected, well, the program is just going to write something like false. We can even check that to right away what I say. So let's say when our area, so this cell, is bigger than 2. You don't need to write the value there. When it's bigger than 2, that's the condition. Semicolon. Now, what does the program has to do? We could say write bigger than 2. Bigger than 2. Or bigger than 2. Okay, but if you just write it like that, the program doesn't know exactly what it is. if you want to write a string, so if you really want the program to write letters, you need to put them in, you need to use, how's it called again? Sorry, I'm forgetting the word right now. Basically, you need to use this marks here, quotation marks, yes. You basically need to use quotation marks. You put them in quotation marks, okay? So I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna close the brackets. So I've told the program the condition is if4 bigger than 2. If that condition is fulfilled, write bigger than 2. If the condition is not fulfilled, well, I haven't told him anything, okay? So let's put enter. In this case, our area is 2.5 is obviously bigger than 2, so it wrote bigger than 2. Now let's compute an area that's smaller than 2.5. For example, if we just put in a height here of 0.5 meter instead of 1 meter, you're gonna have 1.25 meters square. And now you see the result is just false. The program just write false because the condition is not respected, just write false. Like false, okay? Now, if you want the program to write something specific, then you will need to change the condition here. You just need to tell the program, okay, when the condition is fulfilled, write bigger than 2. If it's not fulfilled, semicolon, write not fulfilled. Condition not fulfilled, for example. And now you see it wrote condition not fulfilled. Okay. Now here, really pay attention to the sign you use. So this is like absolutely greater than 2. If you want greater or equal, you need to add the equal just after the greater. Now it's greater or equal. So for example, if you want to have an area of 2 here, how can we get that? Let's try with an age of 1, and we will have to change. Let me see. Well, we can change this. Okay, we can just change this. It's not a trapeze anymore. Now it's basically a rectangle, but it doesn't matter. Our formula still works because a rectangle is basically a specific or a special form of trapeze somehow, and it just means that B1 is yes, it's now equal to B2. So now it's 2, and what does it write? It writes bigger than 2. Why? Because we say superior or equal. So if the area is bigger or equal to 2, write bigger than 2. Now, if we want the program to exclude 2, so it should only write bigger than 2 when the area is absolutely bigger than 2. We just remove the equal, and now it's going to write condition not fulfilled because 2 is not absolutely bigger than 2. 2 is actually equal to 2. Okay, so that's how you can play with the conditions. So that's one thing for conditions, and you have other functions, and you can discover them. You can basically just write equal and try something and discover different functions you have, and you can discover stuff. Remove our formula, and you can keep it there. If you want to try something new, equal, and you can just click here on function einfügen. So basically insert function, and you have like a lot of them here. Those are the one I used last, but you can just see all of them, and you have quite an amount. Okay, and you also have a help here for different functions, so you can basically try things out. Now let's give some shape here to our small table. What are your options? What are your possibilities? You have here the possibility to create some frames, put some frames around it. So for example, we can just use those lines here to create some separations between the different parts. We can give some title to our table. Area of a trapeze. We could give some color there, maybe put a gray background. I'm pretty old school. Move the whole things down a little bit, why not? Maybe put units here in the center. You can move them here vertically, in the center, in the middle, on the top, above, below. That's movement vertically. Okay, and movement horizontally, you can do it here. Pull it to the left. It's completely to the left right now. You can pull it to the right. You can put it in the middle. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it in like this in the middle. Do it for all of those. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing here. Okay, looks pretty good, right? Now we can also put a cheaper frame all around. For example, with this one. Good, I would say. Now, imagine that we have our values here. Here's the table, but we have some information all over to the left here, and you see I'm like pretty far away now from our table. The informations are here. So we have some information here, but then we want to input the values all over to the left. Here, we want to input the values here. We need to check some steps here completely to the right, but we need to input the values over there. And we don't want to do this movement and left, right, and it's pretty tedious. The possibilities we have is to come here to the view, ainsi, and click on. Oh, that's pretty strange. I don't see it. Here it is, I think, Thailand. Okay, and you see, suddenly you have those separations here of your screen. And what you can do is look here below. You have different bars for the left part and for the right part, and even vertically, you can move them independently from each other. So I could keep this left part here. Sorry, there's another thing. If you don't need 4 spaces, you can double click on one of those lines. It's just going to disappear. So I'm going to double click here. It disappeared. Now I just have 2 spaces. Okay. So on the left one, I'm going to stay here. And then for the right one, I'm just going to move completely to the right. Where the informations I need are present. So now I can look at the informations I have here and change the values here. Maybe I had an image with the values of B2. I can say that value and put it here on the left. Maybe B1 is now 5, or B2, maybe B2 is 3, smaller, and then B1 is maybe 5, and then the height, maybe I can read it there, and then I see, oh, the height is 2.5, okay. And then I have the result of my A here, and then the condition. Okay, yes, our condition is still there on top. Maybe I could keep that, could put that condition somewhere here below. Why not? Maybe also use some stuff. I mean, I don't really need. I just want to show how to use those conditions. Okay, and now you've seen already how you can put some nice colors for around your tables and stuff. Okay. Yeah, you also have the possibility when we're talking about tables. Sorry, that's not what I want to do. You also have the possibility to manually create those frames. You can draw them yourself. You can say, okay, maybe I want just particular form here. Maybe I want something like this. Or if you draw a line and you want to remove it, you can basically come and say, yeah, I'm gonna remove this one. Maybe I'm gonna keep it like that. I'm gonna call it whatever condition. I'm just like that. It doesn't mean anything, but let's call it condition. Oh, I delayed the condition. I'm just gonna go back. Look, this is another possibility you have. Okay, I went back, right? We still have the condition. I copy the condition. I cancel the steps I've done. So I come back to now. I've deleted that condition. I draw this area, this nice area. Okay. but the information I just copied is still present. So I can see, come here and copy it and paste it, sorry. Okay, so that's my condition to get into. It doesn't make any sense what I'm doing here. I'm just showing you what are your options and possibilities here. Condition, blah, blah. Now I can put some nice frame around it. I can select it like this and come over here and say that's another possibility here. Below, okay, weiter Rahmenlinien, okay, and now I have the possibility to see, okay, what is already present. You see those lines here around it, those are the lines that are already present. I can choose the thickness of the lines I want to use and draw them myself. So I just put one up on the top there. I'm gonna put one here on the right and one on the bottom. And for the separations, maybe I'm gonna, okay, there's currently nothing here in the middle. I could keep it like that. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep it like this and put OK, and you can check the results. Here's the line I just made all up. Okay. Yeah, so I just want to show what you can do here, what are your different possibilities. That was it for my part. Thank you for your attention and see you another time.